Hi everyone, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a massive book haul. This is because after August I didn't film a book haul, and so now everything got piled up. So yes, this is a 2021 book haul posted in 2022, but really there's just so many books I should just mention them, especially because now I am in a book buying ban because I truly do not have the disposable income to be buying as many books as I was buying last year. So I'm living vicariously through showing you all of these books that I got last year. So let's just get started and move things along. I probably won't be talking about each book too much because there really are so many that it would take forever if I genuinely described every single one of them. So let's start with the books I got in September. The first one is one of various chunky fantasy books that I bought, and that is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. I still haven't gotten around to this, but I really want to. I think in a later month I also got the audiobook so that I can do immersive reading, listen to it, and read it physically at the same time, because I find that adult fantasy really works for me that way. So still highly looking forward to this. I hope I love it. All I know is that it is sapphic and it is fantasy and maybe a little bit enemies to lovers or rivals to lovers. Don't quote me on that because I'm not actually entirely sure, but you can bet your bottom dollar that my sapphic ass is really looking forward to this. The next one is the first two books in a series, and that is Jade City and Jade War by Fonda Lee. Yes, I got both these chunky boys and it's a pretty popular series on Booktube, so it's pretty obvious why I picked them up. I have really been enjoying this series. As you can see, I aggressively tabbed the second one. This one wasn't tabbed because I read it before, I think either from the library or from Scribd, so I haven't gotten around to annotating it yet, but I will, and I'm just really enjoying this urban fantasy series, and I really want to know how it ends. The next book I got for free because it was like on a cart of free books at my campus, and that is Silent Dancing, a partial remembrance of a Puerto Rican childhood by Judith Ortiz Cofer. So don't really know much about this. I assume it's an autobiography or memoir of some kind. I just saw that it was about being Puerto Rican and I was like, you know what, let's do it, especially because it's free. So it is now in my hands and eventually I will get around to it. The next one is another of the chunky boys, and that is The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. So again, I've already read book 1 and 2 of this fantasy series, but I have yet to pick up this brick because it frightens me. So I got it because I have read the series as audiobooks, but I was hesitating to pick up the last one because it's so long. So I was like, maybe if I buy the physical book, I will be more encouraged to pick up the audiobook from my library. It still has not happened, but I really do want it to happen because I want to establish this as one of my favorite fantasy series once and for all. The next book is yet another fantasy that actually I forgot I owned it because I'm so obsessed with it that it lives in my mind rent-free. I think about it all the time. I see it at a bookstore and I want to buy it again, even though I don't need to. And of course, I have not indulged that desire. And that is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. If y'all watched my best books of the year, spoiler alert, you know this was on there. I'm absolutely obsessed. It's a revenge story. There are no real heroes in this book, and absolutely obsessed with it. In love with Serapio and Chiala, and Narampa. They are all my precious darlings, and I can't wait to see what happens in the sequel, and I can't wait to annotate this copy because so much love for Black Sun. The next book I got was Rent a Boyfriend by Gloria Chow. This one I got on a whim because I'm a Gloria Chow stan. I really enjoy her stories. I find them very comforting and very fun to listen to the audiobooks, and this cover is absolutely everything to me. I love how pink it is, and I know that Gloria Chow is a Chicago author, so when I saw this signed copy, I was like, I need to have it. Let me show you the little stamp thing. Look at how precious that is. Like, I'm freaking obsessed. And just as a little reminder to Steph from Coffee Over Apples, this has an artist as a love interest, so I don't know, maybe you want to check it out. So very, very happy I got this. I've already read it, and again, really enjoyed it because Gloria Chow never lets me down because she's a comfort author for me. The next book I got was this special edition of The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I have an excessive number of copies of the Song of Achilles because I absolutely love this story. I have at least 2 paperbacks, 1 French edition, and I think another special edition. Don't quote me on that, but this is just stunning and I needed it in my life, and I'm pretty confident all the copies I have of all of her books, maybe except for Circe, are signed. She comes to Chicago a lot, so it makes it very easy to get her book signed, but regardless, I really love this edition of this book, so I needed it in my life. The next book I got was A Bunny by Mona Awad. I actually picked this up last year and started reading it with my buddy read group on Discord, but I had to put it down because I was just not in the mood for it. And so even though I was really enjoying this very bizarre, very weird story, I just had to say, okay, it's a soft DNF for me. I will return to it when I am more equipped to deal with this strange little story. But I also got the audiobook to help me in that journey, and I still ended up soft DNFing it. But regardless, I really am looking forward to picking this up when I'm back in the vibes for a weird and strange book. The next book I got was Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This one I got because I went to a library sale. The books were incredibly cheap, and I had just recently finished watching the TV adaptation of Little Fires Everywhere, and I was like, you know what? I need the book. I need to experience the story as its original written format. So looking forward to reading this eventually. From that library sale, I also got I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erika L. Sanchez. I have heard excellent things about this book. It has been on my radar for a very, very long time. I think it'll be a good book to have in my future classroom, so I'm looking forward to eventually reading it. From that library sale, I also got Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This is another one that I have heard fantastic things about. I think it's historical fiction and literary, and what's that word, like multi-generational kind of story. So I'm looking forward to this. Also just got reminded that I said I would be buddy reading this with Steph from Coffee Over Apples. So hello Steph, our list of buddy reads continues to grow. I believe in us. The next book I got from that library sale was The Last Report on the Miracles at Little No Horse by Louise Erdrich. Don't know much about this, just know that this is an Indigenous author, and I want to continue picking up books by Indigenous authors. So when I saw that at the library sale, I was like, I simply must have it. I think it's kind of like a mystery. Don't know, doesn't matter, I needed it. And then the last book I got at that library sale was Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. Again, mostly picked this up because I was like, oh, they have both of Celeste Ng's novels. I think the author now has more novels out, but I'm not sure. Regardless, I was like, well, if I'm picking up Little Fires Everywhere, I might as well also get Everything I Never Told You. The next book I got was an art copy of Nothing by Black and Teeth by Cassandra Caw. Again, if you watched my most disappointing and worst books of the year video, spoiler alert, this book is on there. It really was not for me. There was so much potential, but it was just not fully realized. But thank you to the publisher for giving me access to this book. The next book I got was I Think I Love You. This just was on sale for like $1, and I was like, it's sapphic, it's YA, it's contemporary, seems like a good time, let's do it. So I'm looking forward to picking it up. And then the last book I got in September was an audiobook copy of A Desolation Called Peace by Arkady Martine. So really looking forward to reading this sequel to A Memory Called Empire. Still haven't gotten around to it because I'm waiting to butter read it with Steph. Again, how many times am I going to mention Steph in this video? We'll see. We'll see. I just remembered that I forgot to say that I got the audiobook of The Lost Son by Tessa Gratton. I'm still trying to get around to the backlist of Tessa Gratton because I stan, but I just get distracted. I'm so easily distracted by other books. So I got the audiobook in hopes that it will encourage me to pick it up sooner rather than later. And then very rapid fire, the books I checked out from the library in September were volumes 3 and 4 of Blue Period, which I have really been enjoying. And it's all about this guy who is discovering that he is an artist and wants to dedicate his life to art. There is an anime which has now made this more popular. Let's move on. I also checked out volumes 1 through 5 of Given, which you can check out my chaos review of it in my channel. I will link it up above in the cards so you can see that. It completely took over my life in ways I was not anticipating, and I'm still looking forward to watching the anime, mostly because I want to listen to the music of the band, because it is a manga series about a band. And then I also checked out volumes 1 and 2 of my other obsession, which was Blue Flag. Absolutely love this series of unrequited love in a group of teenage friends. What a delight. Now, in October, I briefly saw Divine Light and did not get as many books, but of course I overcompensated with the amount of books I got in November. So let's just get into the October books. The first one is The Perishing by Natasha Dion. I am still looking forward to reading this. It is more literary than science fiction, but it does have a speculative element to it, and I have heard good things about it, so it is still something I'm very much looking forward to reading. I also got Luster by Raven Leilani. I read this last year, really enjoyed it, and that's why I wanted to have this Book of the Month edition of it, because it was just an incredible story that almost made it onto my best books of the year, but not quite. So I would highly encourage everyone to check this out if you're into literary stuff, honestly, because otherwise this might not entirely work for you. But I personally loved it, and I really, really loved the audiobook. So check it out. And then Tor has their monthly free ebook. So I got Getting in the Ninth by Tamsin Moore. I've already read this, but I was like, well, it's free. Might as well say yes to having an ebook copy. Who knows? I might want to reread it in the future while I'm on the go, and it's much easier to carry around my Kindle than it is to carry around a physical copy of this book, which, okay, I do not own, but regardless, the point remains. And then the lovely Steph got me via the publisher a copy of Portraits of Racial Justice. I feel so guilty that I have still not read this and reviewed it, but I am looking forward to that, and I do think that as a teacher this will be a good book to have in my classroom library. So thank you very much, Steph, for sending this out to me. But truly, I am chaos. I've not gotten around to reading this. And then the last book I got in October was Deal with the Demon. This one, I think it was free on Amazon on Halloween. So I picked it up. I really enjoyed it, really got into this romance with a protagonist who falls in love with the demon they make a pact with. Just what a time. And again, I'm going to do a rapid fire what are the books I checked out in October from the library, and that is volume 6 of Given. And I already talked about how it's a manga series about group of boys in a band. I also checked out Star Eater. I was really looking forward to it because I heard cannibalism and sapphics, and I was like, I need that in my life. But I started reading it, couldn't really get into it, so I decided to soft DNF it. I also checked out volume 6 of The Way of the House Husband, which you all know that I am absolutely obsessed with this series. Love it so very much. Tatsu is my husband. I wish he were my husband because he's wonderful. Love, love, love this humorous, chaotic manga series. Then I got Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. This one I really wanted to get around to because I have been anticipating this sequel for a very, 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 very long time, but I just could not make time for it. So I decided to return it to the library unread, but I know I will get around to reading it in 2022 because I just need it in my life. I have heard criticisms of it, but I still need to know. I still need to know what happens next. And then I checked out volumes 3 and 4 of Blue Flag. Again, already talked about this series. Obsessed with it. And then I checked out volumes 1 and 2 of Spy Family, which I really, really, really enjoyed. It's about this spy who gets into a marriage of convenience with an assassin, and they adopt a little girl that they don't know is a telepath, and just fun times are had all around. Just chaotic little fun times. Now let's talk about the books I got in November. The first one is The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, YA Black Fantasy. Really looking forward to picking this up. The cover is absolutely stunning, so I hope I really enjoy it. The next book I got was Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. I think they are the creator of one of the creators of She-Ra, which I've really enjoyed the Netflix adaptation. So I was like, sure, let's check this one out. I hope I enjoy it. The art style isn't entirely my vibe, but I don't care. I'm still committed to seeing if it works for me. The next book I got was the free ebook from Tor, which was A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Nouvel. I know close to nothing about this, and I have heard mixed things about it, but once again, I was like, well, it's free, so it's not gonna hurt to add it to my TBR when I did not pay a single cent for it. So now I have it. Then from Book of the Month, I got My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I have heard incredible things about this book. I know that the subject matter is quite upsetting. It has to do with grooming, assault, and all of that, but I really, really think that I'm going to be obsessed with this novel. So looking forward to picking it up. And then I also picked up How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by K.M. Jackson. This one I completely picked because of the title. I was like, let's do it. This sounds like it will be a silly, fun time, so I might as well pick it up. I did start it, but I did not finish it because I just got caught up with finals and other books, but I am looking forward to starting this again and just laughing my ass off because from the very, very start, this just was so fun and silly. And then for my birthday, Steph got me 2 books. One of the books she got me was The Way of the House Husband Volume 1 because she knows I absolutely love our beautiful ex-Yakuza husband Tatsu. So very happy I have this in my hands now. And then she also got me Work for It by Talia Hibbert because she knows I'm a Talia Hibbert stan. So very, very happy I have this. And I actually really, really, really enjoyed this Talia Hibbert romance. So I'm delighted to have my own copy. And then I was sent an ARC from the publisher of Such a Pretty Smile. I'm so behind on reading this. It comes out January 18 and I have still not even started it. I really should just start it tonight. And tonight means it's like a January 11th. Let's not talk about it. Hopefully it all works out. But I have this. I think it is a mystery novel. And now my battery is flashing at me that it's dying, so I will return to you in a couple of hours to continue this book haul. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Battery is fully charged. Let's continue with this book haul. So the next book I got was A Leather and Lace. Pretty confident this is a vampire romance. Again, if you're familiar with this channel, you know I am obsessed with vampire romances and vampire books, so of course I had to pick this up because it was like $1 and I'm like, let's do it. So looking forward to reading that. And then I ended up going to a used bookstore and getting a few books. One of them was There by Tommy Orange. This one and another one I'm going to mention, mostly I got because I feel like they're good classroom books, so, and they're probably really, really good, so I thought I might as well get them and eventually get around to reading them. Or if I end up at a school where it's already part of the curriculum, then I already have my own copy. So the next book I got for that same purpose was Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. This one is written in verse, so I am quite excited to read it because I do like me some novels written in verse, although I can't remember if this one is a memoir or a novel. Another book I got from that bookstore was American Indian Stories by Sitka Laza. This one I have read a few of the stories before as part of my college reading, assigned reading, and I really want to read the whole collection, so looking forward to that, even though the stories are quite depressing. Another book I got from that same store was Follow Me to Ground by Sue Rainsford. This one I heard Jesse from Bow Ties and Books talking about it, and they really enjoyed it, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. and it's a short read, so I really am looking forward to picking this up. And lastly, from that used bookstore, I got The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. I had already previously owned the first book in the series, and you already saw that I hauled the third book in this trilogy. So when I saw this at the bookstore, I was like, perfect, now I can have the complete set of this series and live happily. So very, very glad I have this. And then I got, because they were free, Love and the Library and Selkie's Secret by Lauren Connolly. These are both romances. I've never read anything by this author, but again, I was like, it's free. One of them has like Selkies, so sure, let's go ahead with that. And the other one has a library in the title, and I love libraries, so I'm like, sure, let's go, let's do it. It remains to be determined if I will actually enjoy these. And then I finally got my physical copy of Mañana Latinx Comics from the 25th Century. This is from Power and Magic Press. This is an indie publisher. I have bought every single one of the comic anthologies they have published. I have enjoyed all of them, or most of them, because I tend to be slow at actually picking them up and reading them, but I do really enjoy the content they put out, and this is just so stunning and beautiful. Like, it's incredible. I'm really, really, really looking forward to picking this up and reading it. I know I've said that like a million times, but really, I buy books that I want to read. And then the last book I got for myself in November was Iron Widow by Ziran J. Zhao. Already read this, really, really enjoyed it. I've definitely joined the hype train with everyone raving about this book. I can totally see it. I see its strengths, I see its weaknesses, but either way, I'm very happy to have this physical copy, and I'm looking forward to picking up the sequel. And then in November, I picked up volumes 5 through 8 of Blue Flag, and completely lost my mind over the series. So that was a delight. And the other manga I picked up from the library in November was volume 3 of Boys Run the Riot, because I love my trans boy who is into fashion and is trying to start his own fashion brand. What a great series. I'm really looking forward to the volumes to come. And now finally for the books I got in December. The first one is A Nun for the Viking Warrior by Lucy Morris. I've already read this. I'll probably link up above the vlog where I read this and other books with nuns and priests as protagonists in a romance story, but this was a disappointment. Again, spoiler alert for my worst and most disappointing books of the year. I wanted this to be so much more than what it actually was. And then I picked up the last book in the Greenbone saga, so Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. I still have not started this, but it is haunting me. It is looking at me on my bookshelf saying, start me. I'm a chunky boy, but go ahead and start reading me. So hopefully that will happen very, very, very soon. And then I got, again for free, Seduced by a Selkie by Lauren Connolly. Again, don't know anything about this, but it's a Selkie romance. It's the second book of this author's Selkie series, so hopefully it works for me. And even if the first book doesn't, it's not like I spent any money on it anyway. As for the books I got from Book of the Month, I got Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I have heard amazing things about this book. I really, really, really want to read it. It sounds like it's going to be incredible, and I cannot wait. And it's a revenge story, which I stan. And I saw Curly Top Reads review this, and they talked about how it is quite gruesome, and now I'm even more excited to read this. So hype. And then I also got Olga Dies Dreaming. I'm in the middle of reading this at the moment. I have been thoroughly enjoying it, but I have just been taking my time with it because that's what feels natural and feels like the right thing to do. So I'm pretty confident I will be giving this 5 stars, but you will have to wait and see until I have finished this book and officially reviewed it. And then one of my lovely friends gifted me Daughters of Henri by Rennie K. Amayo. This cover is absolutely everything to me. Like, just look at them. They are stunning. They are incredible. They are amazing. Really looking forward to picking up this fantasy book and really hoping that I love it. And then of course I saw at the bookstore Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones, and since this is the January pick for my horror book club, The Haunted Corner, which I will have the information for down below in the description, I of course had to pick this up. I just have the greatest feeling that I'm going to absolutely love this. And then I was also gifted for Christmas. Daughters of Henri was a Christmas gift. I was also gifted for Christmas I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. This was gifted to me by my parents. I have previously read this book and really loved it. And I just really wanted a physical copy, and it's been sitting on my Amazon wish list for a while. So I'm happy that my parent picked it out for me. And I still vividly remember, I think his name is Nathan, and how lovely he was. So this book is just one I would highly recommend you pick up. And then another Christmas gift was Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki. This one was a gift from Steph. She knows that I have been talking incessantly about this book. I have not read it, but I have been talking incessantly about how much I want to read it. So she very kindly bought it for me, and I am so happy. I can't wait to read it with the Interstellar book club, because this is the pick for February, and I'm also going to be buddy reading it with Steph. So freaking excited about that. And I'm really hoping we all love it. I really want us all to love this book. We shall see. It has been compared to books by Becky Chambers, so that gives me hope. But anyway, I will have the Interstellar book club's information linked down below as well if you want to check out a book club that reads sci-fi. The next books were also gifts, but this time around I picked them because I went with my stepmom to Half Price Books, and so I picked up some books, but she paid for them. And the first one is A Remote Control by Nnedi Okorafor. I know nothing about this, but it's a short novella. I think it's sci-fi. It might be fantasy. I really don't have any clue anything about this, but I really want to give this author a second chance because Binti I enjoyed, but not enough to continue the series. So I'm hoping that this one serves more of what I wanted, I guess. I don't know, but I'm also planning to eventually buddy read this with Steph. Another of those books from Half Price Books was The Downstairs Girl by Stacey Lee. This is a historical fiction, which honestly at this point I'm starting to realize that I'm slowly collecting historical fiction books that I will likely eventually have to read because of the punishments from my book club. I will not explain that further, but the point is I've had this on my radar for a while and have wanted to pick it up, so I'm excited to have my own copy. And then finally we have The Book of Essie by Megan McLean Weir. So I don't remember much of what this is about. I think it's about like teenage pregnancy. There might be something about reality TV. I can't remember super well. I know I read the summary again when I found it at the bookstore, but Regardless, I do want to read it. I feel like I've heard mixed things about it, but I don't care. I want to form my own opinion about it. So yeah, that is everything. I didn't check out any books from the library in December, so I can't even do a rapid fire for that. But truly, this is going to be such a tough video to edit because I've been filming it for so long. I probably talked more than I should have anyway, and it just is what it is. I just wanted to record all the books I got and be sure to share those with you, especially because I don't know how soon I will be getting to some of them. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to follow me on any of my social media, I will have the links to that down below in the description. But for now, see you next time.